Hey, it's MK, and I am here with another 31 days of cut files for you guys. And I am actually, I believe, on day 6 for the cut files, and we are on the second week, which is outdoors. I've got this really cool cut file that's called Breathtaking, and it's got these 4 little trees on a half circle with the word breathtaking wrapping around it as well. So I really cannot wait to play with this cut file. I also have a wood veneer from my February monthly box that came with these 4 little arrows. I'm just going to use one today. And then I have a big, not really big, but a mismatch of things in a baggie for the outside that I'm going to put in a tray here later. I have 2 photos of a sunset while we were at our cabin at June Lake, and then I'm going to use this foundation paper from Nature Study, which was the, I believe, the Page Kit collection. And then these are all leftovers from my previous outdoor layouts that I have done, which I think were my hiking one and then the mountain heart one. So first thing I'm going to do is decide how I want my pictures. I've got some scraps left over from my previous outdoor layouts as well. And I'm just leaving everything off to the side so that way I don't have to pick and choose different colors, seeing how I'm scrapbooking the same trip even though they're not the same events throughout the trip. I hope that makes sense. Sorry, my voice is not up to par, but I'm drinking a lot of water, trying not to cough in front of you guys. So here I'm just trying to decide what do I want for my photo mats, because I believe that something needs to be behind them, whether it's a dark something or just a roughly of something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mat my photos and then scuff up the edges with my edge distressor, just so that way I give it that little rugged outdoor look. Once I decide on my size of photos and my photo mats, that's when I will go and color the cut file. Sorry, you guys, this is the most boring part right here, is matting photos. Somebody should tell the editor to cut that out. So here I'm just trying to decide how I want my photos to go on the layout. I do know that I want to cover up the mushrooms, the mushroom part of the layout. I just don't know if I want my photos to be side by side. They're the exact same picture, it's just one's more zoomed in so I can see the waterfall. I took a picture of the sunset, and then I was taking a picture of, then one of my family members noticed that there was a waterfall in the exact general direction of what I was taking a picture of, and so I zoomed it in so I could get a clearer focus of the waterfall. But I was mostly taking a picture of the sunset. Excuse me, you guys, I do apologize. So it looks like I'm going to settle with my photos over here, and I'm going to try to cover up the mushrooms using my cut file. Oh, maybe not. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize that I had changed my marbles so many times, but it looks like I finally made a decision. I'm going to use my photos to cover up the mushrooms. And then do that scuffing of the edges just because I wanted it to look a little bit more outdoorsy. I know I say that in almost every single one of my videos, but texture does give you that feel of being outside. So I'm going to go ahead and just lightly tack down my photos, only because of the fact that I know that I have my tray, my 2 trays. I've got a tray that's split into 3, and then my tree ring tray that has a bunch of different things for the outdoors in it. So I'm going to use whatever's on my desk. You guys, honestly, I'm not really sure. I know one is a Shimmers spray, and then the other one was a Distress Oxide. And then my brush was dirty, as you could see, so it picked up a little bit of green. And I don't have any water on my desk at all. I'm just using what's on my desk. So eventually I'm going to end up cleaning my brush just on my my messy rag that I have, that I use usually to clean up my my mixed media. I also, once I'm done painting this Breathtaking, I realized it's too blue. I did not want it to be that blue. I wasn't really sure exactly what. I know that I put down 2 blues, but I wasn't expecting my brush to pick up any of that green. And so it's too teal, I should say. So this is a powder, a watercolor powder, or what is it called? Sprinkles, I think is what Stampin' Up! Calls it, that I'm going to go ahead and use to paint my trees. So, and then I'm just using, I think this is brushed corduroy that I'm going to be using for making the green a little bit two-toned, so that way it's not so bright and it has a little bit of variation. And then I'm also going to use it to color in my trunks and the half circle. So, and as you guys can see, I don't clean my brush very often. I just go from one color to the next and then mix in all the different green and brown, so that way I get my variation of the greens for all of the different trees that I have. And of course, once everything dries, it does dry a little bit different, a little bit lighter when you're using watercolors, or even your inks as watercolors. So everything will end up drying a little bit lighter. But so far I'm liking how it looks. I know that I'm going to be changing the Breathtaking because that is a little bit too bluey for me. And there I go. I'm going to go ahead and turn it a little bit more green. And eventually I end up adding a little bit more brown as well, so that way I can get it to not blend in as well. I want it to stick out a little bit more than the trees do, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to set that off to the side to dry. And I'm going to peel off my my masking from my arrow. And all my wood veneer comes with this masking on it. Some of it is so that way you can do embossing powders on top of the wood pieces. If you leave some of the masking and only take a portion of it off, you can use embossing ink and powders to change some of the color, but yet still leave some of the wood if you choose to. You could also do an ink blending not style, but ink blending on it if you wanted to mix some colors other than just what I use, which is paint pens. For the paint pens, you don't have to worry about it being fully unmasked. Here's that tray I was talking about with all of the different little outdoorsy pieces that I had within that envelope. I know it seems like a lot, but when it's flat items, I can stick a lot of stuff in a tiny little not envelope, baggie. So I'm just pulling out some things. This is going to end up being quite the monochromatic layout, but I do end up finding a couple mushrooms that I thought would just pop off the page and add a little bit of color. Oh, apparently it was just one mushroom, and then I'm going to trim it apart so that way I have multiple mushrooms. So, and then the tree ring tray just has a bunch of leftovers that I had from my last 2 previous layouts. I am going to cut off this last tree because it was overlapping onto my photos a bit too much. But I still wanted to use it. I still wanted to have it somewhere on my layout. So I'm going to just go ahead and add it to my other cluster. And then I'm going to painstakingly add all of these little tiny pieces of foam to the back and then go ahead and take them off. I just didn't want you guys to have to watch me do that. It was very boring. And then from here, I'm just going to put the layout together. And I'm going to incorporate my pieces above and below the cut file, so that way it looks like, you know, everything integrates together, or plays well together, I should say. I have several little leftover leaves from different cut apart sheets. And it's weird because they're all single individual leaves. So it doesn't really make any sense to, have them hanging around. So I thought this is an absolutely perfect layout. Also, one of the things too is all my wood veneer comes with the adhesive backing. So you don't have to worry about what kind of glue to use. This backing is very, very strong. Once it is down, it is down. And then I'm just going to put everything together. I am going to cut out some of these leaves that are hidden behind, because then I can apply them somewhere else. There we go. Trimming down the mushrooms so that way they fit better inside the cluster, and you can hide that the ground that they were mounted on. Cover up my tag hole as well. Just have this little tag sticking out with a cute little yellow butterfly. I'm not sure if there's any other yellow on there, but it definitely feels like it. Oh, I'm covering the butterfly up. That's why I wasn't worried about the butterfly. I'm going to tuck my last little tree in. I do have this one little arrow that was from the Lake Life collection by Simple Stories. I'm just going to go ahead and add that in there as well. Again, they're all just little stragglers left over from here, there, and everywhere. So they were perfect to go combining on this page, knowing that now they look like they belonged, right? All right, you guys, so that is my layout for today. Thank you so much for putting up with this voiceover. I do apologize for losing my voice. I definitely had no intention of losing my voice midway through, what I consider the biggest month of the year for me. Anyways, don't forget to check out Janet Fritz's channel. She is Galaxy Girl Creations here on YouTube. She is playing along with me for 31 Days of Cut Files. I also have our Facebook group link down below and a playlist link down below as well, to see who else is playing along with 31 Days of Cut Files. All right, you guys, again, thank you so much, and I'll check y'all later. Bye.